Let me ask you a question that sounds simple, but most people have never really thought through. What is a company? Not in the legal sense, not on paper. What is it really? A company is a group of one or more people working together toward a common goal. That's it. That's the whole definition. And the reason that matters is because most contractors never think of themselves that way. They think of themselves as a tradesman who happens to have some employees. That's a completely different mindset, and it's the mindset that keeps most contractors stuck. The moment you start thinking of yourself as building a company instead of doing a job, everything changes because companies grow. Tradesmen just get busier. So, how does a company actually grow? It grows through one process. It is called the process of duplication. Here's how it works, and I want you to follow this carefully because this is the exact path every successful contracting business has taken, whether the owner knew it or not. You start as the one and only. You're doing everything, estimating, managing, building, billing. You are the company, and that's fine, but only as a starting point, not as a destination. The first move is to train another person to do one of the things you are doing. Just one. Pick the task that takes the most of your time or the one you're least needed for. Train someone to do it properly. Then step back from it. Then you train another person to do one other thing you're doing. Again, one thing done right, hand it off completely. And here's where it gets powerful. You take your best person, the one who's proven themselves, and you have them start training others. Now you're not just duplicating tasks. You're duplicating people who can duplicate tasks. That's how a company multiplies. But none of this works without systems. You cannot duplicate chaos. If every estimate is done differently, if every proposal looks different, if the process lives in your head and nowhere else, you cannot hand it off. The first thing that has to be consistent, repeatable, and teachable is your estimating, because that's where every job begins and where every profit margin is either protected or lost. That's exactly what easy construction estimating was built to do. It organizes your materials, your subcontractors, and your labor into a clean, consistent system that anyone can be trained to use. So the estimating doesn't have to be you anymore. Once your systems are solid, you execute this process until you have as much business as you can generate in your local area. You work it hard, you fill the pipeline, you max out your local market. Then you start operating in nearby areas. Same system, same process, same standards, just a wider radius. Your people are already trained. Your estimating is already consistent. You're not starting over. You're just expanding what already works. Then you establish another center of operation in a farther area, not a branch office out of desperation, a deliberate, planned expansion because the foundation is strong enough to support it. And you continue all of these steps in an organized, controlled manner. Controlled is the key word. Every expansion is intentional. Every new center of operation is built on the same foundation as the last one. You never grow faster than your systems can support. And then if you've done this right, you reach the point where you make your personal time involvement in the day-to-day business completely irrelevant. That's not retirement. That's not checking out. That's the freedom you built this for. The business runs because the system runs. Your people run the system. And you're free to do whatever you want to do with your time, whether that's taking on a new challenge, spending time with your family, or simply enjoying what you've earned. That's what a company is supposed to do for you, not trap you inside it, free you from it. Go to easyconstructionestimating.com and take a look at the system that makes the first step possible, because until your estimating is consistent, none of the rest of this can happen. Start building it that way today.